just want to express my heartbreak at hearing about the loss of your sons. I can't imagine what you've gone through, and like every parent of college-age kids or high school-age kids, I've had those conversations with my kids, and I'm grateful that you're here and willing to share your experience, which is so important for us to hear. I have a couple questions. Doctor, I want to ask you, because one of the concerns I heard about the bill when it was in the House was a concern that it could inhibit research. You made a comment, but you made it too quickly for me to catch, about NIH's view or others. Is there a need to have language to make sure that the research can go on? Or do you feel that is a non-issue for some reason?
No, so this is a compromise bill. The initial language that came out was just pure scheduling language, and then when there was concerns that it could impact research negatively, the scheduling component or the research component was added, and that was supported through the first Trump ONDCP and then through the Biden ONDCP. The research accommodations that were reached significantly open up all Schedule I research, not just into fentanyl-related substances, but into all Schedule I's. So then that's why they support it. NIH, HHS, FDA, NIDA.
So that's been incorporated into a new version of the bill?
Correct, in the halt fentanyl version. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it is in the halt fentanyl bill.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful. And if I could ask you, Mr. Puerta and Ms. Noring, what do you think is working in terms of trying to educate families, young people, and what more do we need to do? And I fully agree with the need to make sure that the companies that are using their platforms or allowing their platforms to be used need to be held liable and accountable. But what do you think is working in terms of educating both families but also schools and others about how they should incorporate this into their teaching and to have the supplies on hand necessary to deal with emergencies?
At Stop the Void, our organization, along with the project Facing Fentanyl, we have a documentary called Dead on Arrival. You can find it at stopthevoid.org. It's a 22-minute documentary that we use in junior high schools and in high schools across this nation. In California, all of Orange County high schools have done it, with Amy Neville presenting the documentary. I think the education awareness is key in abating these senseless drug deaths, because these kids just don't know. They don't know what they're ingesting. They're dying because they've been deceptively sold a counterfeit pill that they think is a pharmaceutical-grade oxycodone, for example, and it turns out that it's a fake pill, and they end up dying. First-time use. Education awareness is working, but we're just a small organization. We need to do this nationwide. Mr. Steve Hilson says it all the time. With COVID-19, we all knew that we had to wash our hands and have a mask over our faces. Why on a national or on a federal level, why have we not had a PSA campaign of sorts of warning all parents and children of the impending danger of illicit, or should I say recreational drug use? I think that's very key, because again, due to the stigma of addiction and overdose, most kids and most parents don't understand the problem of what it is. I also feel that interdiction is helping a lot, as well as naloxone. So the three-pronged approach: education and awareness, interdiction, and naloxone. Widely available naloxone on college campuses and high schools, I think, is really helping out the situation a little bit, but we need to do a lot more.
Thank you. Ms. Norrie?
I agree. The education and awareness piece is huge, but we face roadblocks all the time with schools that don't want us to come into their schools because they feel that we may basically, in a sense, give kids the idea that it's okay to go do these drugs, and it's so ridiculous. We've shown Dead on Arrival. I'm a former member of Void, so we do that oftentimes. We also show the Come Back Home film that the Alexander Neville Foundation produced, which is told from the youth preventative side of things. And I think when you hear from the youth directly on this crisis, that is so impactful. We also pride ourselves on going out into the community, doing community events, bringing the community together, doing naloxone trainings, getting that information out there, really reducing the stigma of this crisis, because I say poisoning while so many say overdose. You will never hear me say that my son overdosed because my son was poisoned. I know that if my son knew that that pill was going to take his life, he would have never have taken it. Like Senator Klobuchar said, all of my hopes and dreams for him and his future are gone. But not only that, his dreams erased in the blink of an eye. So, and I mirror your sentiment. Our government really needs to step up and start taking the handle on this because we're just parents out there. We're spending a lot of money out of our pockets. Most of us don't qualify for public grants or anything like that. Why don't we have the campaign? Kids are dying. You would think that that would be a priority. And yet it's us out there doing the work, and we will do it because that means potentially a child's life is saved.
Thank you both again for your testimony, and to all the parents who are here representing their children. I want to thank you for your advocacy. Really important for us to see you and to hear you, and thank you for your testimony.